Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Living and Loving with yours truly, Monique McCall, country music artist, singer-songwriter. And today I have a very, very special guest for you. Wow, am I blessed for this one? Former and legend, Major League Baseball player, entrepreneur,
Wow.
owner of a minor league baseball team.
Jeez.
So many facets. He's the father of three beautiful daughters. He's got a beautiful grandson. I'll keep it going.
Keep going.
Sports commentator. And actually, I learned that he and I have so much in common as well. A few other journeys that he's been on that I'm going to share, but I'm not going to give away right now. So please welcome with me here today, Mr. Rick Cerone. How are you?
I'm telling you what, it's a tough life. I'm glad God chose me to do the one that I've been doing for a long time. It's 90 degrees here in West Palm Beach. It's gorgeous. I'm looking out. I get to speak to you. And you know what? It doesn't get much better than this.
I know. And you know what? We're neighbors, I found out. But, we are physically distant, but you know what? But we're not socially distant, which is absolutely fabulous that, this virtual platform could bring us together today. So thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. I heard about this living and loving, and I try to do that. That's a great motto. I'd love to do that every day. And I try to have fun. I enjoy life. Life has been very good to me. I've been blessed. Got to play baseball for 18 years in the major leagues and made a lot of friends and acquaintances over a long period of time, And sometimes when you reflect on it, it's nice to reflect, because one thing you can't take away from you are all the good memories I have.
I can only imagine. I mean, you must have so many stories to tell. So that was going to be my first question for you. I know you've been out living and loving your entire life, and you've been giving back, and you've done so much in the way of community service as well. So we'll talk about that a little further into the show. But I do want to know, I mean, so much living and loving in baseball, but what are you doing now?
I try to live life every day. It's like it's your last day. And what I mean by that, I've had some health issues with my heart. So, I just go out and I have fun. I love playing golf down here in Florida. I'll go back. I do have the best of both worlds. I spent 7 months here on a beautiful golf course called Banyan Cay, which I'm a member of. And then I go home Friday. I don't know when you're going to be airing this, but Friday, May 7th, I'll go home. And I live on the Jersey Shore, right on the ocean, in a town called Long Branch, New Jersey. I love the Jersey Shore too, so I get to spend 5 months there, 7 months down here. I do as little as possible, and I enjoy doing a little as possible. But what I do like is I get to control what I want to do. If I want to travel, I can. It's been a crazy, crazy year and a half. I mean, this world. My grandson, you mentioned my grandson Cooper. I'm looking at him right now. I got him all over the wall. He was born the day the world ended, basically, March 12th last year. And I've only been able to hold him once. I mean, it is a crazy, crazy time. So that's why I really like to enjoy life. And what does that mean? I've got a good attitude. I try to be positive around people. You know what? It's not the end of the world. We are going to come back. We're going to come back stronger.
That's right.
And you mentioned, what do? I play golf, 3-4 times a week. I've got great friends down here. I enjoy their company. I love telling stories, and I get to meet somebody like you, Monique. Come on.
I am the fortunate one today, and so that leads me to a question for you. You said that you have a great attitude. Do you attribute much of your success in baseball? Because I see you played for so many teams. I mean, my favorite team, the Mets. So go Mets.
I got them one. I had them for 1 year, mostly with the Yankees.
The Red Sox.
Oh yeah, Toronto Blue Jays. The first time they ever played a game, I was the opening catcher. 1977. You weren't even born then, but
yes, we'll say that.
Yeah, but it was and we played in the snow. Opening day in Toronto, we played in the snow. The field was covered with white snowflakes. My claim to fame is I made the first error in Blue Jay history. Yay! But
Way to go.
yeah.
Well, that's a good memory. So how about one of your most positive memories?
And we won the game. I wound up having a couple of hits. We wound up winning that first game against the Chicago White Sox. It was freezing cold. The fans in Toronto, they're mostly hockey fans. So they used to cheer at fly balls, which was great. They supported us very well. And the one thing I never realized, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. My community was a lot of Italians, a lot of, everybody. In Newark, New Jersey was diversified, very diversified. The In Toronto, I never realized there was 500,000 Italians, the largest Italian population outside of Italy. So me, I was a 22-year-old kid. They took me under their wing. They fed me. They treated me well, and beautiful people up there. And I really, really enjoyed my stay for 3 years in Toronto.
Wow, yeah, what a fantastic career you had. And actually, I'm sitting here right now. I'm one of 5 children.
Oh, okay.
And I'm the 4th girl, so I was kind of my father's first boy.
Okay.
Because he wasn't getting the boy, and finally the 5th one was a boy, but that came 4 years later. So therefore, I was the ultimate tomboy. So I went back into my baseball card collections. Actually, this morning, and look what I found.
Oh no! Wait a second. Oh, there he is.
There he is. Look at you.
Wait a second. And you notice one thing: the mustache is coming back. I haven't had it in 25 years. Oh,
you
that's
haven't aged at all.
Oh yeah, sure. You're being very nice. You're being very nice. I think it's much healthier to live down here in Florida. Oh, you're looking at my back of my baseball card.
I am. I'm looking. DJ 79, Yankees 80.
Yeah, you said 8 different teams. You know what? They used to give you a suitcase, so I collected a lot of suitcases and a lot of jerseys playing for that long. But I also had a lot of fun. And you know what? I love the surprise. Yeah, nice cards. Very good.
Yeah, see that? I have my own Rick Cerone collection. I think I might even have a few more, but I couldn't get through the other sets. I found these too. It took me a while, though.
You must have been very, very young when you started that collection.
I was. Let's say my dad started it for me.
Okay, I'm going to interview you now. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Oh my goodness,
So I'm trying to think. Maybe was there a Met player that you really liked? Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry.
I love Darryl Strawberry. I pulled out his card today, and I was like, "There's my boy!" I was so happy. And most recently, my favorite player, of course, was the third baseman, David Wright.
Oh, David Wright, good player. Yeah. Unfortunately, got hurt a lot.
I know.
It was sad because he was a gamer and he played hard. That's what I love. The game has changed a lot now. I mean, it's hard for me to watch the game. You go about 5 minutes without them putting the ball in play. It's really slow with all the strikeouts, walks, and home runs. But I guess that's because I liked when it was action, when you try to move runners over and try to do little things to win a ball game. Now they like the strikeout. They'd rather you strike out. I just don't get it. And the funny thing is, when it comes time for the playoffs and World Series, they're looking to manufacture runs the old-fashioned way.
Exactly. So, but the game has changed so much since you were there. What has changed?
Well, we got a commissioner that thinks he's a king. He's changing the game. He does whatever he wants. He canceled 45 minor league teams this year because he could. In other words, all these 45 towns that love baseball no longer have it. Because the commissioner of baseball decided, we're going to try to save some money for the owners. Well, to me, a commissioner of baseball works for both sides. A good one does. Unfortunately, he's trying to reinvent the game, and I can't take it. You know, they're playing little league rules where they put in a runner on second base if it's a tie score in the 10th inning. They're playing 7-inning doubleheaders. They're not allowed to hit the catcher anymore. They can't run over a catcher. I used to like that. I used to like it when guys come running into me, knock me over. You know what? It was part of the game.
Yeah, a little rough and tumble, right? That's always a lot of fun. So do you feel like the players now are different, even physique-wise, than they were when you were playing the game?
Well, the guys today are much bigger, much stronger.
Yes.
We went through a whole period of a steroid era that I don't know. The guys are just bigger and stronger. They throw the ball harder. They hit it further. Is it a better game now? I don't think when you have guys that are running computers that print out the lineups. Baseball is one thing baseball has always had and will have is a tradition, a
Mhm.
history.
Yeah.
Statistics matter.
Mhm.
When the commissioner of baseball comes out 2 years ago and said he basically juiced up the baseball because
Oh.
they own the baseball company
Mhm.
to make more home runs, he should have been fired immediately, but he wasn't. And now they've reduced the ball again because everybody, right now, the season started. It's the lowest batting average in the history of baseball. They're hitting an average of about 232
Mhm.
is the average batting average right now.
Wow.
And they're talking about crazy stuff like moving the rubber back instead of 60 feet 6 inches, make it 61 feet 6 inches. You know what? I guess I'm getting a little old. I guess I just love tradition.
You do. I can tell. You like the nostalgic
Yeah, and it's hard.
baseball that you
You know
grew
what,
up on.
Monique? I think a lot of people feel the way I do, and they just don't say it.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I wish the Players Association stood up and stopped all these changes and bring back the game that I love and that a lot of other people love.
Well, maybe you can be the voice of reason.
Well, you know what? They don't want people to talk like I do
Mhm.
because I tell the truth. If you ask me a question, I'll tell you the truth.
Mhm.
I think he's a joke, the commissioner.
Right.
And I think our Player Association, which I'm a part of,
Mhm.
I've been a part of, I was a player rep for a long time. I think they're overmatched.
Mhm.
I think Tony Clark, who's the head of our association, is overmatched right now.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, they're coming to a work stoppage, which is something that nobody wants again,
Mhm.
because the contract runs out.
Mhm.
And I just hope they work it out. I mean, it's still a great game. It's a little harder for me to watch, but
Yeah.
you know what? Hey, there's other things to go on. They cannot make baseball a video game. It just they're trying. They're doing everything possible to make it like the video game that kids play all day long. Well, I
Mhm.
like a gut feeling. I like a
Mhm.
manager that puts a lineup out there
Mhm.
and goes with his gut a lot.
Mhm.
Now it's strictly
So,
by the
so
computer.
you're really a gut guy. You have a great attitude, and that's kind of what this show is about: living and loving. And I
Yep.
always like to dive in and find out more because it seems to me, through all the successes you've had, that there's one common theme here, and that is that you trusted in your gut. You had a great attitude. Would you agree?
Well, I could tell you that it got me in trouble. You wondered why I played for 8 teams. Well, I spoke up.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't scared, and it started right from the time I got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I was drafted as a junior out of college out of Seton Hall University. And after playing, they called me right up to the big leagues. After playing 2 games, they brought me into the office, the Cleveland Indians. And they said, Rick, we would like you to go to Mexico after the season. It was April 4th. I'll never forget it. And I said, well, I can't do that. I have to go back and graduate with my senior class on time. They said, no, you don't understand. You don't have an option. I said, well, you don't understand. I'm going back to get my degree because even if I play 20 years in the big leagues, I'm only going to be 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, there's a lot of life after that.
Sure.
And the way Cleveland rewarded me was Frank Robinson sat me on the bench for the next 60 straight days without playing.
Wow.
Basically, shut up, kid, sit down, and don't play.
But you persisted. I mean, you had
Well,
so many years in the major leagues.
I know, but a lot of guys would have quit, right?
Right.
You have to have the fortitude to stick up to what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to work hard enough to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Failure sometimes should not be an option for people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's too easy. I just
And
think,
where does that fortitude come from?
well, my father's work habit.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a post office man. He worked in the post office for 38 years. He went to work every day at 8 o'clock, came back at 5, never missed a day of work. To give you an example, when he retired, he had 5 years built up of sick time.
Wow.
In other words, that's something that you can't teach. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that's something that drove him,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually gave back 3.5 years. My senior year in high school and in my freshman year in college, he watched every game: football, baseball, He was there at every game, and then he got tired of it. He said, "I just can't." I felt like he was stealing money.
So you would say that's something that comes from within.
Yes, and you have to be brought up the right way with good parents. I think everything starts at home. If you're a good parent and you try to rub it off on your children, I have 3 girls that I love. I hope I taught them well, even though I was divorced for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I never missed one of their games, one of
Sure.
their events,
Mm-hmm.
one of their father-daughter nights. Well, I travel a lot, and I've been through a lot, but I was always there for them, and I hope they appreciate that now, and I think they do. They turn out.
I'm sure they do. So it's kind of like that trusting in yourself and building that confidence. And when that confidence is there, then you can really tap into what's inside.
Well, and especially, there's always going to be people wanting to knock you down
Mm-hmm.
and say you can't do this, you can't do that. You know what? I never bought that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if you put your mind to it and you work hard enough at it, you can do anything you want. But again, you got to have fun. One thing I did learn is my dad was not real happy going to the post office every day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a way to make a paycheck. And he taught me, he said, listen, if you're not happy at what you're doing at work, you got to get a different job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, simple things to live by. And I take it to heart that, you know what? You got to have fun at what you do. You got to have a positive attitude. You got to be a person that people want to be around, and then still have fun at the end of the day. I mean, it's about enjoying life, right?
Mm-hmm. So would you say then, you got to where you are because you followed your heart?
I followed my heart, I had good mentors.
Mm-hmm.
My football coach in college, in high school, is still one of my mentors. I respected how he dealt with people. He's tough, very tough. My baseball coach in college, Mike Shepard, he was tough. My football coach, Bob Taglieri, I'm still like good friends with him. And he's 81 years old, and I still learn from him every day. But my parents, I was very fortunate to have really great parents that were supportive, never forced anything on you, just wanted you to succeed and have some fun doing it.
So it's in that letting go and just
in the heart. You keep saying the word heart, and my buddies say I don't have a heart. I'm so cold. They said you didn't even know some of the teammates you played with at Seton Hall. I said, well, if they couldn't help us win, I didn't really care too much about them. You have no heart. I said, no, I have a big heart.
Sure.
It's just, it takes a little time to unpeel and get inside there.
The onion, yes.
You peel it open, and then you'll be surprised.
Well, I heard you have a lot of heart. So, and speaking of that, your heart has been in so many different places. But before we go there, I just had a quick question for you, because you played for two of the biggest rivals in Major League Baseball, the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Yes.
What did that look like, from the field for each team?
Okay. On the field, you knew it was different. In other words, the press would build it up so much.
Mm-hmm.
The rivalry, we're always fighting for them with the titles and trying to get to the top. What the players never felt it as much. You felt it that it was a little different atmosphere by the crowd. It was dangerous. When the Boston fans came into New York, they were taking their lives in their hands. There were battles in the field, in the stands. The players respected each other.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, I loved playing for 2 years for the Red Sox. I know there's a lot of Yankee fans out there that'll say, "Was he crazy?" Now you know what? We sold out every single day in Fenway Park. I was there for 2 straight years. Every game was sold out with 34,000 people. It's a very intimate ballpark. And you know what? They got a great north end, a nice Italian section. They treated me great. They never will boo their home player, a Bostonian. They don't. They love their players. New York, if you go like Giancarlo, what's his name? Giancarlo Stanton right now, if he goes 0 for 4, they boo him. It's just a different mentality. I loved playing for the Yankees. It was my favorite place. I came back 3 times to play for them. everybody said, well, why did you do that, Rick? I said, because I got to live at home, my own house. I said, it's nice that way. You feel comfortable there. And
So what is one of your most glorious moments in baseball? Most memorable?
Getting to a World Series, that's the ultimate dream for all players.
Mm-hmm.
We played the Dodgers in 1981. Unfortunately, lost. And I thought, being with the Yankees, I'll have more opportunities to play in a World Series, but we never reached it again.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate. I broadcasted some of the Yankee World Series years for the Yankees, and broadcasting to me was the most fun. I got to talk about a baseball game that was going on in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And the best review I ever got, it said, when you listen to a game when Rick does it, it's like you pulled up a bar stool and you're having a beer with them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking baseball. And I think that's what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever forget how tough it is to play that game.
Sure.
The ball's moving at you 95 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's sinking. The guy's putting spin on it. It's dipping. It's cutting. And you're trying to hit it with a round bat squarely on a round ball. It's a very difficult thing to do. And
It's kind of like the game of life, isn't it?
We got ups and downs.
Yes.
And you know what? The real people are the ones that can pick themselves back up.
Mm-hmm.
And wipe themselves off and say, okay, let's go. All right, tighten up the bootstraps and let's do it again. But I keep emphasizing fun. And what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It means that you like getting up every morning,
mm-hmm.
and you're a little disappointed when you go to bed at night because you're afraid you're going to miss something that's fun and that's happy. And if you have that attitude and you be nice to people, you go a long way. Believe me, I've done a lot of business. My buddy TJ Nelligan, we play a lot of golf together.
Sure.
He's a very successful businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that when you're on a golf course for 4.5 hours with somebody, you get to know them pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've generated a lot of business. I've had a lot of different corporations I'm involved with, whether it's gold mining, whether it's copper mining in Chile and Peru, whether it's sportsgrid.com, a sports information television network that I'm involved with, a real estate company, a couple of minor league teams. I tell you, I did, when I look back, I did okay as a guy.
I know, you're like the ultimate entrepreneur, but not only that, speaking of fun, it was really fun for me to learn about you.
Yes. Go ahead.
All of these other adventures and journeys you had was that you and I have not only being entrepreneurs, but you and I have a few things in common.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear.
So from what I understand, you were the perfect 10 model.
Oh, there you go. Don't do this. Yes, years
And
ago.
I'm a model as well. And I modeled throughout Europe and the United States.
Oh,
but
wow.
You had a fascinating career in these, what are they, perfect 10 jeans? You were first contracted by Jordache, but you gave up Jordache to be the perfect 10, which was also your number, right? This is your number.
Well, it was all about my number. And it wasn't a real smart business move. It was fun back then. I got to do some nice commercials with some gorgeous girls and had a lot of fun doing it.
And with your shirt off, but I was looking for those photos. I could not find them.
I got the photos. See if you.
Do you have one handy that you can?
Well, no, I cannot.
Listeners.
No, I cannot do that. I'm embarrassed. I had no shirt. I had the V back then. The little tiny waist and the big shoulders, and I was posing on the chair with my uniform on the side.
Can you do a reenactment for us now?
I don't think so, especially since I'm wearing my underwear right now.
Fantastic. Are they Mets, Yankees, or?
They're just beautiful jockeys. Beautiful jockeys. But I'm going to tell you a funny story because this should be light and funny. Yogi Berra, everybody knows Yogi, the greatest guy in the world, was my coach and my manager with the Yankees. And you talked about 10 jeans. Mm-hmm. And every day, I told the guys, I said, as soon as they're made, I'm gonna have everybody wear them and get them all out for free. Every day, Yogi came to me and said, Rick, where are my jeans? Where are my jeans? I said, yo, they're coming. So then finally, every day he's asking. So finally I called them up and I said, listen, I need a pair of jeans sent right away. Okay. They said, well, what do you need? I said, I need one pair, size 48, 12, 48 wide, 12 length. Yogi was kind of
Yeah.
small. Okay. So now they come and they're on the table in the middle of the clubhouse. I got it all set up. And I said, Yogi, the jeans, they finally came. Look at you got the first pair. He opens them up and he holds them up like this, and they're, long and tiny. His legs about that long. He says, I don't think that's funny at all, Rick. I wish I kept those jeans. That
Do you
were the
know where?
first.
Do you know where they ended up? Did he take?
I think he threw them right in the garbage. He was embarrassed in front. I embarrassed him in front of the whole team, but we had a laugh, and you know what? We still have laughs. And Yogi,
So what was it like to work alongside Yogi Berra? I mean, that had to be like a dream come true for you. Did you imagine that this is where you would be as a small child?
No, not as a small child, but as I got older and got to high school and college, I was hoping. Most kids think they can be a baseball player. I was fortunate to take the right path and get there. Mm-hmm. But Yogi was so popular. Mm-hmm. And what made Yogi such a great guy, he didn't realize he was Yogi Berra. Mm-hmm. He was one of the most popular guys in the world, most recognizable, quotable. Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense. It sounds funny, but I'll tell you one more Yogi real quick. You remember Yogi made the Aflac commercial with the ducks?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, you remember? So we're back. We're members together at Montclair Golf Club in New Jersey. Yogi comes back after the commercial airs, and everybody says, Yogi, that's the funniest damn commercial we've ever seen. It's so funny. He says, those ducks really don't talk. They dubbed them in afterwards. Ba-bum-bum. That, to me, is the best Yogiism of all time. And he was dead serious. He said, they had two ducks. Two ducks. I said, one duck did this, another duck did this. And everybody in the clubhouse was laughing. So he made us laugh. I miss him every day.
He had a great sense of humor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So much fun with Yogi Berra, but I also know you had another fun side to you, and something that really speaks to my heart is that, from what I understand, if this rings a bell for you, a long run home.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, you know what? Me and you are both pressed. We are both pressed. In 1980, they had a bad earthquake in Italy. And you remember a news lady, I don't know if you remember, but she was big in New York, Roseanne Scamardilla. Mm-hmm. Rosanna Dana. That's from Saturday Night Live. And me and her got together, and we raised a lot of money for the earthquake.
Earthquakes, yes.
And one of my things was I went to Connecticut and made a song. I was pressed, and it was called "The Long Run Home." I was searching for the girl that I saw in the stands at the Blue Jay game. And
what did she look like?
Gorgeous. No, it was all fantasy. They said I sounded a little like John Fogerty, but I don't know. And we raised some money. I always tell everybody, and it was #1 in Syracuse. I had a good crowd of fans in Syracuse.
So you had a #1 song in Syracuse.
Oh, yeah. It didn't last too long.
that I imagine you never thought would happen.
No, but see, you've done your homework. You've done your homework. Yeah, I'm very impressed, and you're doing a nice job, and we're having some fun with this, right?
Absolutely. So you have had just a fascinating life. I mean, between Major League Baseball, and then you had the minor league team as well. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, minor leagues, I was a partner. My first investment when I retired from baseball, I bought 10% into a brand new franchise in Wilmington, Delaware, the Blue Rocks. Mm-hmm. They were unbelievable, successful. We played, I only owned 10%, so I was a great owner. I never bothered anybody. I went to 2 games because I was broadcasting for the Yankees. Mm-hmm. And then I decided, you know what? I saw what it did in Wilmington. Mm-hmm. It took an area town, and now all of a sudden became a destination. I said, well, can I do that for my hometown in Newark? And I started thinking about it, worked with the politicians. We wound up building a beautiful stadium right downtown Newark. We were there before the arena was built, the Prudential Center. So I was kind of like, I did something nice for the city to try to bring people back. Unfortunately, I was working about 18 hours a day at that stadium. I was there from sunrise to sunset. I loved it. My kids loved it. We did something nice, but I eventually sold them after like 6 years. And unfortunately, the people that I sold them to, they wound up going bankrupt. And they resold them. It came out of bankruptcy. They tried 2 or 3 times and they weren't successful. And unfortunately, they had to knock the stadium down, which was very, very difficult for me to take. They even called me and said, would you come and see us bulldoze the site? I said, do you understand? My heart is in that stadium. I wanted to do something good for Newark.
See, there's where your heart is.
There's the heart. Yeah, I know. There's where the heart went. But with the stadium, I did a Newark Bears Foundation. I also had a foundation called Teach Our Children, and raised lots of money. And you know what? If you can do that, if you're in position to do that and give back, it means an awful lot.
It sure does, and that's a big part of living and loving. And that's
Monique, I love minor league baseball. That's why when the commissioner canceled 45 teams this year, cities are going to be deprived. And really, the one really that got affected was the Trenton Thunder. They had a franchise for 25, 28 years. They had a franchise value of about probably $27, $28 million on one day. And the next day they had no franchise. The commissioner pulled it away from them. I mean,
hopefully the commissioner's going to listen to Living and Loving. He's going to hear this, but I'm certain getting to know you a little bit better here today that you've probably already spoken up and said something.
Oh, I tried to. And a funny story is I called Joe Torre, a good friend of mine, Yankee manager, Hall of Famer. I said, Joe, we got to do something about this commissioner. He says, Rick, do you understand I work for the commissioner and he pays my salary now? I said, I know, Joe, but he'll listen to you. He can't. We got to keep our tradition. We got to keep our history. He says, I'd like to help you, but unfortunately I can't. So
it looks like you're doing so much, and you're always doing something, whether it's baseball, whether it's giving back, whether it's standing up for what's right. So tell me, what is something next for you? What's next for Rick Cerone?
You know what? That's a great question. I still have a lot of things going on. The sports grid I talked about is a sports information for the gamblers. Gambling is a very big issue right now. A lot of people are gambling.
Yes.
There's 2 companies out there, DraftKings and FanDuel, and they're both very successful. And we give the information. We're not a gambling site, but we just give you 24 hours a day of information, live programming. Nobody else has that. So we're in a good position. What's next for me? That's a very good question. And you know what? When you think about it too long, it's not going to happen. So things happen every day. I got involved in some gold mining in China, in Chile and Peru that I'm involved in. I meet people every day that have ideas. Things come across my desk that I shake my head and I say, wow, yeah, that's something I'd be interested. The biggest thing is you have to have the passion. You have to have knowledge. You have to. I never get into something that I'm not sure about. I was lucky. I've been with IMG. Well, you're a model. They handle models too, International Management Group. I've been with them since 1975, and they always kind of taught me, why am I investing my money here? Well, what's the benefit? What's the tax break? How do I help? I want to learn about the business. I just don't. I'm not like Shaq. I love Shaquille O'Neal. I got to meet this guy. He's from Newark. We've kind of passed tracks a couple times, but he's got an attitude that I love. He makes a lot of money, first of all. He's endorsing everything, but he doesn't endorse anything that he doesn't get to know about and that he
doesn't believe in. Right.
And you know what? That's a good motto. And he just seems like he has fun all the time. I just like the guy.
So it sounds like your strong beliefs, your passion, your fortitude, the way that you were raised has led you to so many beautiful opportunities. So
beautiful women too.
And a couple of women, I'm sure. At least
Beautiful, young. I love young people because they keep you young.
Sure.
And you know what? Why not? Why not? The alternative is bad. We want to stay young as much as possible. I really believe living in Florida is a big plus because when you have a little color, a little tan, you feel better. You feel better about yourself. And just keep meeting people, keep being nice to people.
Well, there's a double meaning there, bask in the sunshine.
No, it's nice. It is very nice. A lot of pluses to living down here.
Definitely.
Loving and living, right?
Yeah, so get out and live and love and bask in the sunshine, whether it's the Florida sunshine and anywhere you go. And I am so grateful because from what I understand, and thank you to our dear friend TJ Nelligan for introducing us and for having the brilliant idea of you coming on here today. I'm so blessed. I feel so grateful that you took time to join me. I know how busy you are. And I also know that you may be coming to my show of my new single release on Thursday. So I'm really excited that. So I was wondering what was next for you. So I hope what's next for you is that you're going to autograph.
I'll bring a Sharpie. No problem. I'll bring a Sharpie.
No pun intended, but is that in the cards for me? Or
that's in the cards, definitely. Thursday night, I will come and listen to you. I hear it's a nice place. DJ invited me, and I will be there and looking forward to it.
I'm really, really looking forward.
And you did really a nice job. Sometimes interviewers don't let the person talk. You let me talk. We've had a nice time, very conversational, and you're going to go far with this stuff. I know it. I can tell.
Thank you so much, Rick. I'm so blessed. But before I let you jump off, I do have one question that I ask all of my guests. Being a country music singer-songwriter, I always like to know, what is the one song that speaks to your heart and sums up the essence of your being?
Well, you know what? That's a good question. I always come back to Frank Sinatra, My Way.
Yeah.
I come back to, you know what? I believe I'm doing things my way. That started from a very young age as well. And Sinatra and I got to know each other. I'll tell you what, it was something being in his presence. Great guy. He got a little bad rap here and there, but I'll tell you what, I had a great time being with him. And My Way by Frank Sinatra.
He was true to his inner self. So I bet you're Italian. You got a voice in there. You want to sing a little bit for us?
No, I'll sing that for Thursday night.
Oh, they're perfect. Well, we're an open mic night for Rick Cerone.
It's all about you Thursday.
It's never about me. It's always about living and loving and giving back and, following my heart and staying out of mine. So thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, please thank Rick Cerone. You've been fantastic.
I had a great time.
Major League Baseball player, legend, entrepreneur, father of 3 beautiful children.
And Cooper. Don't forget Cooper, my grandson.
Cooper, his grandson, Seton Hall of Fame.
Very nice.
Former Jersey boy, and from great, strong roots, wonderful parents, great family, former model, also a songwriter. I learned a long home run, and I hope there's so many more long home runs to come for you. So thank you so much, everyone. In the words of Rick Cerone, get out, have fortitude, have gratitude, give back, always go for the long home run, and do it your way, because that is the way to do it. Follow your heart, and that will always lead you to the right place. Again, I'm Monique McCall. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you again, Rick. It's been fantastic. You can find me here on Living and Loving every Thursday at 4 p.m. Get out, live, love. I love you all.
Bye-bye.
Stay on, because I'm going to tell you a joke.